my first ever artist alley. Hi, my name is Mocha, and I've done a video previously on this about how this January, in about 3 or 4 weeks, I am doing my first ever artist alley. Now, I spoke briefly about why I kind of ended up in this situation and what my kind of process was, but I wanted to jump on here and talk about what my goals are, especially since this is my first time, and I don't think that I really have goals that a lot of people necessarily would think about. I know a lot of people kind of are like, I want to turn a profit, I have X amount of money that I want to make, or I want to get my name out there, and all of that is true for me. But for me, my goals are kind of on the floor. When I first spoke about getting accepted to do the Twilight Market at Kaicon, I mentioned that I had to kind of put myself in the deep end. I had applied to do the convention thinking it was going to be a no, but at least I learned how the application process went, and I got my name out there and I knew what to expect next time round, and just getting over that fear of doing the initial sign up, just kind of getting out of my comfort zone and going, you know what, I've done it once, next time when I actually know I'm going to get accepted, it won't be so bad. But obviously it was a yes, and now I am preparing like a madman to do my first ever artist alley with little to no experience. So alongside my planning, when I was deciding what products I want to sell, how I wanted to kind of make products and all of that, I decided very early on that I wanted to organize pricing, organize how much it was going to cost me to produce things, because I wanted to produce everything at home, but as well as organize things like what amount of money was I actually going to spend on the convention overall. This included things like my hotel fees, my table fees, any travel fees, fees of just cost of goods, how much I'm spending on products, how much time, labor, all of that. My two main expenses were hotels and of course paying for the table itself. That came out to a little over $800 Australian, which is some amount US. And it's not a lot of money. It's only about $800. I got the hotel on a discount. I booked it Black Friday and it was half the price or something. So it's pretty cheap. And that cost overall is less than what I've spent on other events. And honestly, my main goal is to just make bare minimum the $150 fee that I paid for the table. And that is an extremely low amount. I did do a very brief breakdown when I first kind of started planning about what were my top kind of 3 goals and how much of things I would need to sell to kind of get there. So to kind of put my mind in the right spot, I figured out what products I wanted to do, how many of each product, how many of each variant of a product. For example, I have about 10 designs of the dragon phone charms, and how many of each design I wanted to do, and how much I could potentially make from each item. That took a long time because it was figuring out how many of each thing I could actually reasonably make in the time frame that I have, how much I wanted to price it, which is a whole kettle of fish because, as you know, I'm new to this. I am kind of still figuring out pricing, so my pricing is might change in the future at some point. I sat down, spent many hours figuring out, okay, these are the products, these are the amounts, this is how much each product will cost, this is how much I will make gross, and this is how much I will make barring tax. Because I'm in Australia, I have to pay 10% GST. So after figuring out all of that, I figured out for each product, including every variant, how much I would make. So for example, I believe if I was to sell out of all of my phone charms, I'd make about $300. Did that for every single product that I have, and then I figured out totally what would happen, how much would I make if I was to sell out. Now, under no circumstance am I expecting to sell out. I am brand new to this scape. It is an anime convention. I am more of a furry artist. I do love my anime and my video games, and I do have some products that are more themed to that kind of genre, but I'm not expecting to sell out. So I kind of wanted to figure out my 3 goals, which is number 1, paying off my table fee. Goal number 2, paying off my table fee and my hotel, which will mean that I'm in the green for the convention, and possibly turn a profit, maybe sell kind of 50% of my products. So I figured out that in total, if I was to sell out, again, I'm definitely not going to, I would make over $3,000, which is a lot of money. And if I was to sell out, I would cry. I would not know what to do with myself. But because I knew that I was potentially could make that amount of money, it's very easy for me to go, okay, well, how much of like total product do I need to sell to reach each goal? So I figured out very quickly about 25% will pay off my hotel and my table fee. So my main goal for Kaicon is to sell 25% of my products. Now, I say 25% of my products, but some of those goals may be hit by me selling one product. For example, I have done a shot glass set of 6 of the most popular arcane characters. I'm pricing that at $150. Reason being, it's hand painted, hand engraved, 6 individual glasses. It's a lot of time, a lot of effort. I know some people will say it's overpriced, it's just not in your price range. So that will sell for $150. And assuming that that sells at all, easy. That's my table fee sorted. And then I still have all of this extra product. Additionally, because of how finicky my stickers were and I wasn't sure how many designs I wanted to do, I didn't include that in the 3,000 number. So stickers are going to be an additional thing. I do believe that they're probably going to be the most popular thing that will sell. But because I wanted to have sticker deals and I knew some weren't going to really sell, but I'd put them up anyway, I didn't want to try and figure out prices because it'd just be too much work. That 3,000 number is a little bit off, same with the 25%, but it's kind of a good goal for me to keep in mind that I only need to sell a quarter of my stock, less than, assuming that my bigger items sell, to make my money back. Now, that's my financial goal for Kaicon. Pretty much make bare minimum back. I'm not too big on making a profit because this is my first time round, and I would just like to have my stay in Sydney covered and the table fee covered, which isn't really a lot of money. But what if I don't reach that goal? Do I have any others? Yes. Like I keep saying, this is my first artist alley, my first convention vending. And so my true goal outside of, of course, trying to make money back is learning. This is a brand new space for me. I do work in the convention space as a charity team lead for the lovely Aurora, but I have never vended. I haven't really been in that space before. I've never done any markets or any stalls or anything. So for me, this is a massive opportunity to learn and absorb as much as I can. Now, it's also been an opportunity for me to binge watch as many YouTube channels about being an artist, doing artist alleys, which I am a bit of a sucker for. I love them. And it's allowed me to learn a lot from other people, but also try to figure out, well, I know I'm very different from them. They do like kawaii merch and I don't. So I know that my experience and the way that I have to function as an artist and as a business is going to be different to them. But it has given me the biggest opportunity to just genuinely absorb as much information as I can and get as many tips as I can, like how to stay organized, how to make sure that you're keeping on top of your work, how to, actually just like take notes and keep it in your head. Because one tip, I need to write things down. If I don't write, like, I need to edit a video today, if I don't write that down, I will forget. And I've been chronically writing on the backs of my hands for years, since I was a kid. And it never really worked. I would still forget things. And then I tried to write it on my phone and go, okay, I need to do this. And I'd set reminders and I would still forget. And one of the biggest tips that I learned, and thanks to me putting myself in the deep end on this, was a lot of artists recommend, and it sounds really stupid in hindsight, just write it down with a pen and paper. And that genuinely has helped me so much, even in just the last few weeks, of just writing things physically down on a piece of paper and then having that like accessible to me and on my desk, so that like, one, the physical action of writing things down keeps it in my head better, but also like having it present right in front of me rather than on my hands where I'm moving a lot, or on my phone where I'm not always touching my phone. It's somewhere where it's right in front of me, I've written it down, I'm not going to forget it. And it sounds like a really simple skill, and believe me, it is, but I don't think I really would have clicked it had I not just gone through binging through how to run an artist alley. So that's just one kind of silly tip that I learned. It seems really obvious, but genuinely, if you're someone like myself who forgets things or struggles with like planning, physically write it down. Don't do what I've been doing for years with apps and things. just get a book, write it down, get one of those small little books, keep it on your desk. It makes life so much easier. Even before this convention has happened, I have had the chance to learn a lot, and I have learned tons already just from watching people. I've learned skills about how to stay organized, what I need, how to set things up, what to expect, and I am a lifelong learner, so it's been really fun for me. And my third and final goal is I'd like to make more friends in the artist community. I am somewhat new to New South Wales. I moved here about 2 years ago. I made some friends, but not a lot in the artist space. And I only really know a handful of people who vend occasionally at certain events, and I would like to get to know more people. This event, I believe, has over 400 artists, so there is a ton of people to learn from, and going through their socials, I did see that there are some very specific artists that attend this convention as well as a vendor, as well as some of my friends have attended previously just as attendees. So I know that there are people like me who go to this convention, and I would love to meet them and make friends, especially with people who know what they're doing. I'm hoping that I can kind of put myself out there a bit more. I tend to be very shy. I have autism, so I know that I kind of tend to have a bit of an angry face, and I come across as sometimes a bit uninterested because that's just how I am, unfortunately. But I'm hoping that I can put myself out there and make some friends and learn from other people. Because as much as like the online stuff has helped and binge watching YouTube has helped, there's something so much nicer about being able to like sit down with someone and go like, can you actually just like walk me through it, and have that like more tailored specific advice that they can give you. So these are my kind of main goals for Kaicon. I know for a lot of people their goals and things with conventions is of course money. That's why they're doing it. It's their business, it's what they like doing for fun, it's their side hustle, whatever. A lot of people are very focused on the money. And for me, I do have a monetary goal, but it's not kind of the biggest goal, nor is it really my main focus. My main focus is getting into the community and practicing as well as learning, because I want to keep doing this. I'm hoping that it's something that I really enjoy, because I have always loved artist alleys and dealers' dens, and I have always loved the thought of doing one. I've always loved the thought of being what I used to call a convention artist. So I'm hoping that I learn as much as I can, I make some friends or just meet some new people, and just enjoy my time doing my first artist alley. When the time comes around, I will try to keep updated. I may vlog my experience if I feel comfortable enough and kind of figure out what I'm doing. But those are my goals. They're not the biggest goals ever. Maybe later on down the line, if I do more events in the year, I'll have bigger goals. But really, I just like to make my money back, and I would just like to get into the community. That's really why I had applied, was just, well, my name's out there now. So now I'm in this situation. But if you have any goals that you think I should add to my goals list, let me know down below. Chuck us a follow. I will be doing weekly content, hopefully 3 times a week, if my schedule's not too busy. And I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.